Mr. Davis, pleasure to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And you have been a heavy hitter in this industry for 5 decades. That's pretty much unheard of, very rare. How have you maintained your longevity in the business? I mean, through all the ups and downs of the music business, especially the turmoil the business has been in over the past few years, how have you remained at the top?
You know, I try to keep my ears fresh, so I take home with me every week records that hit the charts in every format, and I'm always afraid, having seen others go over the hill, to make sure I know that just because I might have signed Janis Joplin or Springsteen, that doesn't get airplay for the new artists coming out there. So you got to prove yourself every time.
Where do you look for new talent? Because we've seen so many artists get signed from YouTube and basically putting their own music out there themselves. Where do you
I don't think I've ever found an artist that way. For many years, I would go to cellars, basements, clubs. I would, wear the lead, the responsible lead, the track record lead, not just the anonymous lead. I've not looked for a video that's gone viral or try to sign the one-hit wonder based on a hit video or a hit record. I'm looking for the long-term artist. I'm looking for the star 10, 20, 30 or more years from the day I hear the talent.
Now, in your book, Soundtrack of My Life, you describe putting an emphasis on hits, hit making. Is there a formula that works every time to create a hit?
I shy away from the word formula.
Yeah.
But although you're looking for the talent, you're looking for if you're looking for artists like Alicia Keys, who writes her own music, or if you're looking for the entertainer, that great voice, as was the reason I signed Whitney. As I said, you're looking for long-term talent, but there's no question that with very rare exceptions, artists are known by their signature records. And so you've got to be aware of how much is in the album, in the artist, with respect to breakthrough songs. Very difficult to maintain a career without hit records.
Who would you say is the biggest music star in the world right now? Because that's debatable, but in your opinion, who is?
What Adele just did, true, it's only 2 albums, but it's quite astonishing to sell 20 million albums around the world. So certainly by record sales, there's no question that Adele has become the biggest record star. Certainly from a new artist and a rock sensibility, you're talking about Mumford and Sons. Certainly if you're talking about hip hop, joining up there with Jay-Z and Kanye and Eminem really is probably Drake and Lil Wayne, and certainly in the pop area, I think a trio of really strong female artists. I love Alicia Keys. She certainly is a major star. Beyonce, Rihanna are very strong. So you're talking format, and you're talking different types of artists.
Speaking of hip hop, you of course helped move the genre forward, working with Diddy and Bad Boy and LaFace Records as well. What's your opinion on the state of hip hop right now, considering where you came from with hip hop?
Well, it's not as vital, but I think contemporary music in general is not as vital now as it was 10 or 15 years ago. Certainly the rock format is, you're not getting that kind of artist. The beginning of my career, I was very fortunate, and I write about that in my book, the finding that I had an unexplored natural gift, and so it was Joplin and Santana and Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire, one after another. You're not finding that right now. I mean, I think we have in Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I think we have an A$AP Rocky and Wiz Khalifa. We have some newer hip hop artists that are really talented and strong. It's just not a golden era as they speak.
Now, in the book, you reveal to the world for the first time about your bisexuality. Is there a reason you've decided to do that now? Did you feel that maybe in the past there may have been repercussions?
I wasn't bisexual until my second marriage failed. I was a total straight heterosexual, married twice, 4 children, and totally attracted to women, and had neither of my 2 marriages failed for the reason of sexuality. So it was really only after my second marriage failed that I opened myself up to the person and not the gender. And so the only time I really could talk about it was really when I wrote my autobiography. I mean, it's my family I certainly spoke to, and my close friends knew, but you don't wear that on your sleeve. Oh, I must say, since my book has come out, I really feel some gratification that the subject of bisexuality is not understood well, and people feel you're either gay, you're straight, or you're lying, and it's just not true. And so if this could shed light more, if it could help move society a little bit further to the truth and the reality that there are a number of people that can be and are attracted to both genders, and they're really attracted to the person and not the gender.
Of course, we have to talk about Whitney Houston, and you played a pivotal role in Whitney's career. Do you remember the first time you heard her sing?
I vividly remember the first time I heard Whitney sing.
Tell us about that.
She was 19, it was 1983. She was doing 2 songs in her mother Sissy's act, and she stepped forward, and I was in the audience at the initial request of Jerry Griffith, an A&R man that worked for me, and I was dazzled by her talent. I was stunned by it. She was doing one of the 2 songs, ironically, was The Greatest Love of All. Whitney found meaning in that song that even the composers, I'm sure, didn't know were there. She was not just an artist that I signed. She was, we became creative partners on every song that she ever recorded. And so it was a very close relationship for the rest of her life.
How have you coped with Whitney's passing?
Badly. I mean, it's painful. It's still close, still so near. It will always be painful that someone with her staggering talent reached a premature ending. She obviously had a problem that, we thought was solved when she spoke with Oprah, and her outlook. She was full of life. I was with her 2 days before she passed away. You would never have known that she might have been flirting with death.
You were working on new music with her?
We were talking about when we would work, and she knew that the one problem that she had that we both knew she could not solve was cigarette smoking. And I had told her we couldn't record until she had given up cigarettes, and it was at that meeting right before death that she said, I'm cutting it out, not just cutting back, but I'm going to be cutting out cigarette smoking totally. I'll be ready in August. So
things were looking bright.
Sad to reflect on that.